Says we're live.
All right. We are back live again with the After Hours Tailgate Talk with me and Travis from
Hey, I'm here.
Perpetual Project. And it seems like we've got most of the people back in the chat from the last hour. There's some stuff going on in the chat that I need to catch up Travis on what they're talking about. Seems like this After Hours is already starting off kind of going into the gutter a little bit, but so before we get started, I'm going to try to hold on. Try to
Okay,
get the.
I think I get it now. I'm caught up on the chat. We're talking about putting fuel in the truck, just
Yes.
the tip in both holes.
Yes. Here's, I think, Quality Controls has already, I think, put the link up to join in.
She did.
But I'm going to put it because she's always taking care of the both of us. I put the link in there also if anybody wants to join in live. So, hey, Two Hacks is here. What's going on, Jeff? So, if anybody's reading the chat and wondering what's going on with the fuel situation that Jacob brought up, they're talking about my truck cream puff. I was asking Buff at one point, how's, is everything okay with it? Have any issues? Like, he said, well, it just it don't take fuel very good. He said, it clicked off like it was full, but it wasn't full. I said, it does that. You just have to put the tip in it. It just likes just the tip. And then I realized what I was saying. And so it's kind of a running joke. And I've used that joke before. Well, I didn't realize what I was saying sometimes until after I said it. But I've done the same thing on a Facebook post one time. Someone was saying, their square body is, it doesn't take fuel very good. It just seems like it clicks off, or you just got to go in real slow. I said, mine just likes the tip and hit send. And then I realized what I said. Oh yeah. The comments got pretty comical after that. And then I just rolled with it. So we were giving Buff a rough time about just the tip, with cream puff. Yeah. Demonetized already.
In the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, the first 3 minutes. Yeah, cream puff is a cream puff. I've been pretty rough on him before, but yeah. Phone's blowing up.
I just got to turn the volume off. I have stuff listed on Facebook right now. I'm sure that's just is it available?
Yeah. Is it available? Yes, and then you get ghosted.
Yeah.
That's why I don't probably sell anything on there anymore.
Can I come look at it first thing tomorrow morning? Sure.
Yeah.
Nothing. And then the other guy, I want to come get it, but I haven't been able to sell the guy who was supposed to come buy my boat didn't show up. And then later on that night, all right, I sold my boat. Can I come get it tomorrow? Yeah, what time do you want to be here? I'll be there at 10. At 10. Well, I'm still 3 hours away, but my truck broke down. But my buddy's coming over. Okay, let me know when you're on your way. That was Saturday, and his buddy still hasn't showed up to bring him to get the boat. So I'm guessing he's probably not coming now. I just got to the point where there's an auto respond on there that you just hit, yes, it's still available. Are you still interested? And so I've just started hitting that. Yes, it's still available. Are you still interested? And then about half the people don't respond, which is fine. And then the ones that do, half of them just say yes, like, yes, I'm still interested. And I'm like, okay. So I started responding to that. When they say just yes, I said, okay, when do you want to come get it? And I give them the address, and then they ghost me after that. It's my little fun thing that is only funny to me. But
oh no, I think we've all been through it, and that's why I just decided I'm not selling anything anymore. I'm just keeping it all. And
I don't have that many acres.
Yeah.
And so the reason I'm selling the boat, honestly, the whole reason I'm selling it is I'm tired of trying to mow around it.
Yeah. Yeah. We just started mowing season. I've mowed twice in the last couple weeks, and
I've
of
mowed
course,
3 times already, and I needed to mow again this weekend, but I was working on the Jeep, so I didn't. And then it was raining. No, it was raining on Sunday, and I didn't mow yesterday because I was working on the Jeep. But yes.
yeah, because I know you've been to my place before, and just across from the house there was that fence line, and kind of a little bit of a field and a draw and everything. Well, we've taken that fence down and basically turned that little bit of a field into big front yard. And then
Okay.
everything behind the shop, I'm going to keep mowed also. So I don't know how many acres or acre or so, acre and a half. It takes me about 2.5 hours with a 60-inch mower to mow all of it.
I have about exactly an acre within the buildings and everything are on it. But because of all the crap that I have to mow around, I have a 42-inch cut mower. It takes me close to 3.5 hours to mow it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to put everything in little piles right next to each other, so I don't have to mow around so much. The more
then
that
you're
I
just gonna have to weed eat in between it.
What's that?
I said, then you're just gonna have to weed eat in between it.
I have spots where nothing will grow for some reason, so I've started parking stuff. It's kind of somewhat in a good spot. That's where the Mustang currently is, and then my other Dodge truck is there. But I don't know why. It's when we first got this place after they cleared everything. I bought grass seed and didn't realize how much I was going to need, so I only had enough to do half of it. So I planted the grass seed on the west end of our property, and then we went to Colorado for a month and a half. When we got back, there wasn't a single blade of grass on the west end of the property, but the other end, the east side that I didn't plant anything on, was completely covered in grass. So I don't know how that works, but the west end, after 5 years and multiple times putting grass seed down, still doesn't have a lot of grass in most of the place.
Huh.
But I can't clear a spot. Like we tried to make a garden 3 years ago, and we dug up all the weeds, and then I rototilled it in, and then we rototilled fertilizer into it, and then we were weeding it every day, and we missed like 2 days of weeding it, and it was ready to be mowed to make a nice luscious lawn.
Yeah.
I don't, and that's down on the east end of our I don't know why stuff grows so good down there, but the grass just takes everything over.
Yeah, first responder, it's all mine. Don't sell anything.
Yeah. I'm getting that way, except for I have a few things that I want to get rid of because I have no use for them. And I'm like the boat. I'm tired of mowing around it.
Yeah.
I've given up on selling the Mustang. It's just going to sit there until I don't have anything else to work on. And it's going to get something done. I don't know what I'm going to do to it. Maybe set up a ramp and jump it or something crazy. I don't know. But,
hey, you could take your new Jeep and run up over the Mustang.
No, I can't do that. I can't. I could never jump it either because I can't bring myself to destroy something.
Yeah, I know.
And I can't run it over because it's got a brand new windshield in it.
Oh, but you never know. I mean, that might be your viral video and put you on the spot. And
but then you have to make videos to back that up.
Yeah.
I'm just not that destructive of a. You've got her on board.
I was gonna say quality control's on board. That's over half the battle, getting her on board with stuff. Just boom. Steve Hyten says LS swap it.
That's about the only thing that I can guarantee will never happen. Purely because I don't know, because I'm not really a rebel. I just don't want to get on that. And it would be cool. It'd be fun, but I just not gonna LS swap it. Even if it costs me twice as much to do the same thing, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, there was at the truck show, you know, there's a lot of LS swap trucks, and the truck show was for any make model up to, I forget what year. They had a year cut off as far as new ones, but there's everything there. But mostly square body. I'd say the biggest percentage was probably square body trucks, and of course, a lot of LS swap trucks, which they were nice. And there was one. It was orange and white. I think it was orange and white long bed, and you could see behind the grill a huge intercooler. So automatically I'm thinking, big LS swap turbo, So I'm walking up to it, expecting to see, an LS sitting under there under the hood. And the closer I get, all I see is this big, wide, single valve cover from the radiator to the firewall. I'm like, oh, that's not a LS, that's a Cummins.
Oh.
It had I think it might have been a 6.7?
6.7.
Yeah. I've seen Cummins swap trucks. This one, that thing took up the whole engine bay. It seemed huge. Of course, it had pretty good sized turbo. It may have had compounds. I don't remember. I didn't look at it that close, but it was pretty cool to see that big Cummins under the hood instead of an LS. Is that the one you was laughing at?
Yeah, that's the one I was laughing at.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was an old Hudson Terraplane come rolling in, which is a Hudson truck.
Okay.
It was pretty. I didn't get a good close up look at it. I seen it kind of as I was walking by. That was the thing. There's so many trucks there that I missed a few that I really wanted to see, but there's just so many. Yeah, it was hard to take it all in.
That's cool.
Yeah. Buff is very inspirational when it comes to just, you never know unless you ask. 6% recycled tobacco. What's going on?
A Cummins swap OBS with the SM465.
Yeah, see, I didn't see that one either. Texomatic Motor Media is here.
Hello.
Jacob Carter's first car was a Model T.
That would be a cool claim to have your Model T for your first car. My first car was an '88 Dodge Shadow. That doesn't sound nearly as exciting as a Model T. I don't really claim the Shadow. I claim my '73 Scamp, but
it's still sitting on the stand in a bag like it was last week and the week before and the week before. I've been busy. So, but I'm going to get to it. It's just a matter of time management. Buff actually got to see the 339 in person and touch it and everything. I need to get back on it, but this week I'm pretty much going to be dedicating to getting caught up on editing videos that I've got footage for that I haven't got out yet. So I've got my next two videos. I've got some good stuff. I mean, they're going to be a little bit longer than my normal videos. I'm just going to kind of let them go however long they are with what footage I've got, just to try to not leave too much out. So
yeah,
next two videos are going to be some good ones, I think. The dyno video, the squeaky on the dyno, then the truck show. And like I said, the trip there and the trip back was really cool. So I've got footage from I didn't get a whole lot going there. We were not necessarily pressed for time, but kind of our goal was just to get there. But on the trip back, we got some stops and had some cool places to stop to get some videos and different things. So, and some cool shots of the drive. Like I said, with the convoy behind us, get some shots of that. And then as they peeled off behind us and went up the exit ramps to leave our convoy, we got some pretty cool shots.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to editing that video too, because
I'm excited to see
it. Yeah.
I'm a little concerned about quality control's next comment.
Oh, of Travis working.
I wonder what she took a picture of.
I don't know. I know I've got a picture of Travis driving a vehicle around that's fairly comical in a parking lot.
In a parking lot?
You're taking back one of the little handicap scooters at Walmart or something. I'm saving that for a special occasion. Daisy Dukes would make a comeback. Yeah, well, maybe Travis. Is that what Travis is?
I can guarantee you that's not the picture of me. For sure, 100% can guarantee you that there is no picture of me with Daisy Dukes unless it's been edited.
Oh, that LT1 350 would be a cool build.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Oh, it was at Lowe's, I guess. Is that right?
No.
Oh, he's going to Lowe's.
O'Reilly to get parts, and now he's going to Lowe's. I'm a little bit concerned.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they were meant to travel with it, and actually, Tasha and Shellman, they left probably an hour and a half after we did, and they almost got there at the same time when we. Hey, Red Eye Patriots here. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going?
Oh, yeah. Buff was asking me. He was hoping to meet Stumpy while he was here, but he's still. I don't know where he went. He just takes off in the wintertime. He won't wear pants. He won't wear sleeves. So he just kind of takes off. I guess head south. I don't know.
Let's go south. Yeah.
I'm looking for him to return sometime soon because especially once we get the 339 going, he's going to try to take credit for building that. So.
maybe the name got filtered out by YouTube.
It might have. What's going on, Kyle R? I think that's where all Stumpy has. Oh, she got 30 miles to the gallon heading out there. That must have been nice.
I'm trying to think if I've ever owned a car that got 30 miles to the gallon.
I have. I've had a motorcycle that got about 50 or 50 plus, but.
Well, I had a motor.
Yeah, he had 300. It wasn't about miles per gallon with Buff. He was just having the time of his life.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I think my diesel, it was getting, according to the display, it was, especially during that headwind, I was barely breaking 8 miles a gallon.
Oof.
Yeah. And then on the way back with the tailwind stuff, I was getting about 12, 13. Buff's rental car gets 35. I wish I could have got the video of him unloading his stuff out of Cream Puff and putting it in that Toyota. It was like, just kind of shoving it in Toyota. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. I guess the Impala we had there for a little bit, a year or two ago, it got, actually for a V6 sedan, four-door, I think it'd get maybe 28 miles per gallon.
I was thinking my mom, she had a 2012 Impala with the V6, and I was thinking it did right at 30.
Yeah. Ours was, it may still need to be broke in some because it was brand new, but I think because right after we bought it, we went to South Dakota in it.
Okay.
And I think we were getting I think the best I remember really is like an average about 28. Yeah.
I can just imagine the disgust.
Yep. He kept going. And I knew it was funny. I think at one point there was nothing left in the truck of his. But he would go back and check. He would open up the toolbox and look through. Open up the door, look through. I'm giving him a rough time, but I tell you what, it was a true blessing having Buff go with us. Even though I feel really bad the way I felt when he first messaged me, like, but because all of that is gone, it was, once I realized, like, yes, this is exactly what we need to do, because, and even apart from any content, just making a trip with a friend that, and me and Buff got to talking about it. We've only met once in person at No Name Nationals, and actually at No Name Nationals, him and I we didn't talk a whole bunch. We introduced ourselves and talked a little bit, but we had our own stuff going. But it was on the trip back from No Name Nationals. We fell in behind him to help keep an eye on him, at least until we got to our stopping point. But we just struck a friendship.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't, it's just having a buddy of mine go along with this. And that was, I need to do this. It's going to be a fun trip having a friend of ours go with us, take my truck, and just have some fun, because, Buff's a great guy. So if anybody ever has Buff hit them up, say, hey, can I borrow this? Just let him borrow it. Just do it. You're going to have a great time. Yeah, I know. I at one point he was trying to make his outro or intro or something, and so I said, okay. I said, I'm gonna go to the house for a little bit. So I went to the house and let him have his last little moment with Cream Puff. And yeah, and cool. Also, Blueberry's going to get to go to the C10 cruising show in Springfield. Well, Jacob, if you ever, I'm not sure what part of the country you're from. You may have told me, but I don't remember. But, well, I should know, because I sent you Squeaky Shifter Knob, but I don't remember now where you're from. But if you could ever make it down here to Square Body Stuff Ranch, you're more than welcome, and I'll take you for a ride or let you drive the trucks. Oh,
I'm a little bit concerned about that part.
Yeah. He didn't have a fuel can with him, so he did have a fuel can. I don't know. I'm not sure what was going on. I just let him do his thing.
Oh.
Yeah, poor Jacob. We of course we were leading the pack, and I told Mrs. Squareback that I said on a good day, I figured Jacob's truck probably gets maybe 10 miles a gallon out on the highway. It actually gets better fuel mileage than what I thought, but it's like, okay, so that's 160 miles until he's done. I said with the headwind and all that stuff, we didn't really have a bad headwind coming home, but it was kind of a crosswind-ish, and that'll slow you down too. So I said, let's try to plan our stops about 80 to 100 miles. That's a good safe zone. So we made several stops on the way home, but it was great. We had a good time. We weren't pushed for time coming home. Just enjoyed the trip. Bigfoots and Mopars here. What's going on? Travis is hitting his jar of clear.
Yeah. It's just water. Not exciting.
I got my drink.
Yours is more exciting than mine. Mine just looks
probably
like it's exciting. I already finished my pot of coffee, so. So what are you doing this week? Just working?
I'm working and trying to edit videos. I was like, okay, am I gonna try to go to the drag strip or anything this weekend? It's like, nope, I'm not gonna worry about that. And I don't have any. I think it's the middle of next month before I have any other big things that's coming up to go to. But I'm gonna try to focus on cleaning the shop back up, kind of getting the shop back organized, get everything staged back up, because the 339 is my next, that's what I need to focus back on. Now the truck is, Squeaky's running. He's dyno tuned, ready for the track. Other than the ignition box, I need to figure out something with that. But other than that, Squeaky's pretty well ready to go. So I need to focus on the 339 to get it going, because I know there's a lot of people waiting for it. I'm excited about it, and the more people I talk, I had people down at the show, at the truck show, it's like asking about it. It's like, now I only have so much time, and it's tough. I'm not trying to drag it out for theatrics or anything, that's for sure. But it's, now that I think about it, it's going on almost a year since I pulled the engine out. It's probably over a year now, but yeah, on the way home, I guess Shelby and Tasha passed us by, but they probably didn't see us. What was I going to say? I don't know. That train left the station.
Talking about cleaning the shop, we did that. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. We were out here trying to work, and it had gotten bad, like really bad. Like there was stuff everywhere. So it took us about 3 hours, but you can actually see the floor again. And I'm really quite happy with how small my pile of Jeep parts has gotten. Like it was pretty scattered still, but it would all fit on half a pallet now, and most of it is not getting used. So that's exciting.
You have more Facebook Marketplace stuff to sell.
It's all going to scrap when it's done. Like most of it is 3 wiring harnesses that I'm not going to use, because so I don't even know where they all came from. I guess some of it's original CJ. One of them is the the ZJ harness that I initially did for the Jeep that didn't work because the computer was bad. And then I think there's a YJ harness mixed in there somewhere that was part of the tub when I bought it, maybe. I don't even know, but it's just a pile there in case I need any short pieces of wire to finish it up. But I think I think the wiring is done. Like, except for the computer problem, everything electronically is working the way it's supposed to. So that's the kind of the fun part about it now is like to this point, it's been work on it, never really get anything done. But now we're finally starting to actually finish parts of the Jeep. Like the interior is done. The body, except for the hood, is done. And we could actually make a list that isn't going to be basically build a Jeep. And we could start crossing stuff off the list, but there's no windshield to write on. So
yeah, that's on the list.
Yeah, that's the one of the things. That's I gotta go pick it up Thursday morning, and then we can put it in and then write the list on it.
Yeah, of course, we talk about cleaning shop, and as you were saying, just get to working, and then it's like you don't realize how cluttered it gets, and then you just have to stop.
Yeah,
I have to do the same thing, just stop and regroup, and then carry on, put stuff up.
that is definitely a question for you.
Well, I've never done that, but I don't think it would be a waste of time. I mean, you're gonna get some horsepower stuff out of it. You're gonna have some power out of it. It'd be something interesting to do for sure.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can upgrade the cam, it's
and actually that's the biggest thing in my opinion. That's the biggest thing that holds back or that makes a stock 305 such a turd is they had such small cams. Of course, the heads hold them back quite a bit too, but I mean, I've rebuilt or actually built 2 305s prior to messing with the one I've got. So I knew they had some potential. But just a cam swap in them really wakes them up. So I'd go for it. The main thing is getting someone to tune it or getting a good tune on it would be the big thing.
I like Buff's answer to that question.
Yes. That's very well put, Buff. Nice and simple.
That's very, that's says it all right there. It's never a waste of time to make what you have better.
Now, to other people, it might be a waste of time. But to me, I'm with Buff, exactly what he said.
Yeah.
It's never a waste of time to make what you have better. Now, yeah, you could take that money and put it into a 350 or whatever. But I've always tried to be the one to tell people, have fun with what you have.
And I guess that depends on your intentions and your budget, because you can't do anything to a 350 for the price of a cam swap in a 305. And if you can afford a cam swap in a 305, it's going to be better than having a 350. If eventually you plan on putting a 350 in it, maybe save the money from the cam swap and do the 350 swap down the road. But I don't know. That's kind of one of those things. A lot of it depends on where you plan on going.
Yeah. I mean, it is to answer that question is kind of subjective, but as far as being a waste of money, I don't think it's a waste of money or a waste of time, because
no,
if it's what you got, the 305 is in good shape, I'd go with it, roll with it. I think it'll be surprising that what it'll pick up. Oh. Yeah, that's one of my Mrs. Squarebody things. She never wants to be called my old lady. She does not like that. And, I explained to her, that's in some groups or areas or whatever, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
But I can understand that. To her, she does not like the term old lady. So it's not because of her age or anything like that. She just feels that it's kind of disrespectful, but Java's here.
Apparently, Lowe's what he was looking for. I hope he's making a video on this. I can't wait to watch it.
The thing is I know Chucky just enough. I'm picturing him right now, and him saying that, because that dude has got some character to him, and I hope he can get it figured out and get his YouTube channel going, because I think he's got the personality to make a really good channel, and he's got the content with what he does, the Gambler 500 stuff. He's got the content, he's got the personality. If he can get it all sorted out, that guy has got he's got a combination that will work.
I agree.
Yeah, man, that's a Cutlass with the 305. Put a cam swap. If you put a cam intake and headers on that thing, no one would believe it's a 305 unless they looked up the casting numbers. As long as it's a decent motor, it's not wore out, but a good cam intake and headers on that thing, and it'll be a blast. Afford it,
put a set of heads on it, and it would run every bit as good as a lot of 350s.
Yeah, but and that's kind of what with what I did on the 305 originally. I bought the cheap Summit Racing brand camshaft just to be on the budget, and ended up really liking. I love that cam profile. That's why I'm going to reuse it in the 339. Summit Racing has some really good cam profiles, and the quality of the cams so far, I've used 2 of them, and I'd just soon use those than any other big brands. And as far as an intake manifold, swap meets, Facebook Marketplace, you could always find a good aluminum intake manifold for fairly cheap. Of course, with the Cutlass, you're going to be hood clearance is going to be your problem.
Yeah.
But even just a cam swap with the factory intake and factory exhaust is going to make a big difference. So yeah, I've got that same question. What is Chucky looking for? What is Chucky looking for? He's been to O'Reilly's, Lowe's,
and now headed to Tractor Supply. Bolts and paint is kind of the only thing that I'm thinking that crosses between those stores.
Yeah.
Oil? No, not really at Lowe's. Maybe.
I'm thinking some sort of fasteners or hardware.
Yeah.
For this question, I guess it depends on what you're using the truck for. If you're towing a lot with it, a 4L80 upgrade would be a good thing. But really, if you find someone that's a good, reputable transmission guy, that 700R4s would be cheaper to rebuild it and upgrade it a little bit while you rebuild it. If the guy knows what he's doing, which I'm not a big transmission guy as far as knowing everything what needs to be done, but you can upgrade the 3/4 clutch pack, which that's usually the first thing that goes out. Servo, stuff like that. There's things to make a 700R4 that's not really that much more expensive to upgrade while you're rebuilding it. But really, that 700R4, will be fine, unless you're really pulling a lot with it or something.
What's involved with the 4L80? You have to have a complete computer system to run that transmission, don't you?
Yeah, because I'm not sure what he says. 80, 84. Yeah. See, with the 4L80, you'll have to find some sort of controller for the transmission. I'd
imagine by the time you spent that money, you could build a pretty stout 700 R4.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point, because by the time you buy the 4L80, a controller for it, you can have pretty stout 700 R4 rebuilt and not have the problems with. I mean, not saying that they're problematic, but a standalone controller for that 4L80, it's an aftermarket thing. There's always stuff that comes along with that. The 700 R4, you just put it back in there, adjust the TV cable the way it needs to be, and boom, you're back in business. Unless you're really pulling a lot with the truck or towing a lot of heavy stuff, I'd probably say I would probably stick with the 700 R4. Yeah, more suggestions on the 305.
Yeah. Apparently, Chucky is looking for a fitting.
Oh. Yeah. I've been in that position before, hunting every place where there's certain fitting.
I can understand. And I don't know what it's like around you, but if you go to Arlo's, if you can find the bin that the fitting is supposed to be in to start with, you're doing good. The chances of it actually being in the bin it's supposed to be in is next to none. It's probably in one of the other 10,000 bins that are. It's like they dump the truckload of fittings and just throw it at the shelf, and whatever box it lands in is where it goes, and you have to dig through all of them to find anything.
Yeah, it's a conversation about the difference in 700 R4s and 4L80s, and I mean, there's pros and cons to both, but unless you're really heavy towing and stuff like that, beating on it a bunch, I would stick with the 700 R4. Uh-oh, we have Chucky wanting to come in. He's going to explain live in person what he's looking for. Here he is, guys. Chucky. What's going on, Chucky?
How's it going?
It is not going well. I'm ready to burn a car to the ground, sell all my tools, burn my shop down so I never go back in it, and pick up golf. That's what I'm about ready to do.
What fitting are you looking for?
You know the little air fitting that goes on the back side of the carburetor, like a 2-inch spacer, or it's an inch spacer underneath the carburetor. It's got a little air fitting for your air. Yeah, I can't find one of those godforsaken things to save my life.
So like a barb fitting.
Yeah, and of course I go to O'Reilly's and you got some retard behind the counter who's got 3 teeth and he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I said, hey man, you got any of these? He's like, no, I never seen one of those before. He's like, imagine that. While the whole time, and I'm not making none of this up, his girlfriend's talking about getting lip implants. I'm like, man, I don't care about your lip implants. I don't care about none of that. So I quit, leave there. I go to Advanced. Well, there's nobody there either. So it's just great. Travis and Square Body said this is boring, so I'm gonna leave.
No, I have a feeling I was looking.
I know what
I was looking for one.
I have a box of them here somewhere too.
Oh, great! Thanks a lot.
Sorry, Chucky. I didn't mean to make it seem like I just walked away from you. I was listening and everything.
Oh, you're fine.
I think I know exactly what you want, and I'm pretty sure I've got it in a Folgers can somewhere. Probably got several of them.
But I can't. I have a box of them, and I ordered the wrong ones. I needed a 1/2 inch, and I ordered or a 1/4 inch, and I ended up ordering 3/8. But
this whole week though, like man, I have had this car. So I got it running. I got it out of time. I figured out it was timed backwards somehow. Well, I didn't figure it out. My dad did. He came over there. So, like all of us, I called my dad. I was like, hey, man, I cannot figure this out. And, of course, he gave me the 3rd degree. Nathan, I told you how to do this 20 freaking years ago. I shouldn't have to help you time a car. Oh, you're right. So he gets there, and he's like, dang, this is stupid. I don't understand. Oh, anyhow, we get it running. It is backfiring through the carburetor, something that god awful. I mean, burning down the hood flames. And my dad, like y'all two learned probably. My dad taught me everything I know. So I'm looking at him like, hey, Hoss, what you going to do now? And he's just like, I'm clueless. So we play with it. I go put a fuel pressure rig. I'm thinking it's dumping too much fuel. I put a vacuum on it. I can't get the idle mixture to go right. None of that's working. And this is supposedly
oh, we lost his audio.
my back now. Somebody called me.
Oh yeah, you're back.
So that don't work. Well, then we finally kind of half-ass get it running. The little line that goes from the water pump to the thermostat, it blows apart as I'm moving the distributor. Hot water straight to my face.
Oh,
it was great. I mean, I threw tools and I just walked inside for about 20 minutes after that one. So then I get that fixed. I go back out there again. I try to crank it, will not crank to save my life. Somehow in the last 5 minutes, one of the fuel lines got clogged. So I redo the fuel lines, get it running again. Then all of a sudden it just dies. It will not charge the battery. So then I rewire it. I finally figure out the wire going across the motor fried. So then I rewire it, go put a new alternator on it, voltage regulator on it, rewire the voltage regulator because all the wires are ruined. And so we get it running again. We're all right. Well, maybe our problem's just timing. Maybe we ain't got it timed right. About that time, I about blow my eyebrows off with flames coming out of the carburetor. And I said, F it, I'm putting the old one back on. So now I done took the Elderbrock intake off, the Elderbrock carburetor off, went and bought a rebuild kit for the old Motorcraft carburetor. And now I just need a fittings. And all that to say, I got a gambler in 2 days that my car's sitting on 2 flats and won't run. But other than that, Keystone Light's pretty good.
So you're trying to hook, I'm assuming, a vacuum line up to the back of the spacer for like power brakes or something?
I'm assuming that's what it's for. I ain't gonna lie to you, Travis. I don't know what it's for. I just know it's supposed to be hooked up.
So you're hooking a hose to it, right? And it's on the spacer.
I'm hooking a hose to the spacer.
Okay.
So,
if you can't find anything else, get a pack of air fittings, like for your air tools.
Yeah.
And one of those should screw into that hole like this.
Yeah. I've used those for hose fittings before too, clamping on there. It's just
that's a good idea. I can't
like that.
Think of that. Yeah.
You see that? Oh, up.
Yep.
Screw that into the spacer and put your hose on there and put a hose clamp on it. If you can't find the right fitting.
That's a good idea. I might try that. And I've tried to record all this, but I'm at the point of desperation where the last thing on my mind, and I'm sure y'all been there. We're like,
oh yeah.
I ain't got time to sit here because I could just let the camera play, and it would be. I mean, I've literally been working on this thing like 20 hours a day the last 4 days, and I can't even back it out of my damn driveway. Like it's just y'all know how it feels. But
I know exactly how you feel.
My wife was like, "Do you really enjoy doing this?" I'm like, "Will you just leave me alone for about 10 minutes?"
Desperation makes good video.
Oh, I'm desperately about to burn it to the ground. I mean, that's what it's just. God.
Hey,
there's a part number for you at O'Reilly. AGS part number PHF 14B.
Well, thank you, Buster Grill. Too bad O'Reilly's closes at 9 o'clock and it's 8:55, and I'm about 15 minutes from being there. I'm not happy.
Well, the good news is Walmart sells air fittings.
That is true. I'll put this.
If you don't have one already.
Well, I thought of that earlier, but the only one I had was a big one, a bigger fitting, like a. Hold up, I'm turning around to go to Walmart. Sorry.
That sounds like it's getting. Yeah, Buff said truck stop.
Truck stop might have them.
They may have them.
I stopped by there earlier. There's a truck stop right up here. I stop by all the time, and they didn't have none. And of course, as I'm walking out, a lot lizard asked me if I want to be her boyfriend. I said, no, I'm good.
You're like, depends. Do you have a 1/4-inch barb fitting?
Yeah. Oh.
She might say, is that all I got? And I'd say, yes, that's all I got.
Oh, yeah. See, I know it's frustrating at this point, but this really is the stuff you need to just say the stuff you're saying to us on camera.
Yeah.
And at least you'll have that footage, because honestly, this is the stuff that's your personality, the troubles you're going through right now, we all go through. And,
yes.
Yeah.
You know, this is cracking me up. That's cracking. Travis is cracking. We're all cracking up.
Buff says, "Tell him you just need the tip."
I just need the tip.
Like that.
Yeah.
I got a mole on the side of my hip. I guess I shouldn't be reading and driving at the same time. Whatever.
So, kind of change the subject a little bit while Chucky's getting to Walmart. Shopcat, he's talked about this square body a couple times on other lives, that it's an old Alberta government telephone C10.
Yeah.
And apparently it is purchased and touching down at his place this week. So they did get it. Cool. That's cool.
Well, on another note, I did get the car lifted up, so that's nice. It don't run.
That's good.
And that's another thing I did wrong. I lifted it up, and I'm only 5'4.5". I'm a short guy, so I'm trying to work on the motor dangling over the side of it. I got bruises along my stomach.
I feel your pain there. I once built a Ram Charger with the 8-inch lift kit and a Cummins in it. I spent a lot of time sitting inside the engine compartment working on the inside of that when I was doing the wiring and stuff on that truck, because it's miserable to work on. That's been the nice part about the Jeep. Even though it's lifted, everything is right there. It's really easy.
Yeah.
So
this guy is my friend. I have to use this just working on my 2-wheel drives.
Oh, yeah.
So my problem with those is it never fails. I get up there and I'm leaning over the fender, standing on that thing, and I go to reach for something, and it kicks out, and I'm laying on the fender with my feet dangling in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or a
The
bucket.
struggle is real.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, there's some people that are good with part numbers and numbers in general.
Yeah.
That is not me. I mean,
No.
The Fram oil filters for a small block, big block Chevy, they're all the same. I still can't remember what that is. And I used to use them all the time. I don't use Fram anymore, but is it PH5? It's like I can't remember anything.
I've often
joked that.
I always put a piece of duct tape under the hood of my vehicle, or whichever one it is, and I will ride on it. 4.5 quarts of oil. Oil filter is whatever number, and spark plug gap is whatever number. So I'm like you. I don't remember none of that stuff.
For whatever reason, I can still remember Fram part numbers that I haven't used in years, but for the life of me, I can't remember the Wix part number for a filter for anything.
No, me neither. The only part number I know without a doubt is the inline fuel filter 3033, because I always order them like by a dozen. But it could be CarQuest or Wick, and it's 3033. And that's the only one I know. What if they get mad if I park in the handicap? Because right now I feel pretty retarded. Get out of my way.
See, you need to be videoing this stuff, because that's YouTube gold.
Yeah.
I'm serious, man. I'm serious. You need to be saying the same stuff on your phone, recording it.
See, I guess I don't ever look at it like that, because that's just me being me.
Oh, but being you is good stuff. We were talking about this earlier. We were just talking about this earlier, that your personality and what you do, you've got a combination. If you just make it all come together.
I want to so bad go make fun of all the squatters over there. It's like their ass is whopping on the ground. Look, you're cool. I mean, I appreciate that. I do. I don't take compliments very well. That's one thing I know. But
trust me, I know all about that. At the truck show, and Buff will attest to this. Buff kept trying to make me understand that what people see when they see me. If they know my channel, they know me. It's like, because people want to take pictures with me, and they were like nervous fans that I didn't realize they were just standing there looking at the truck. So it's like, I'm gonna just get up out of my chair. I was just hanging out and go talk to them, and they're like kind of nervous a little bit. And then once I started talking to them, like, yeah, we watch your channel all the time. And all this, they're true fans,
right.
And it just blows my mind that people see me as a YouTube celebrity or whatever. I mean,
right.
It's hard for me to understand it. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, but it's still hard to, because that's a huge compliment to me.
Right.
Even
the other day, I was wearing your pullover in somewhere, and somebody's like, "Oh, you watch that guy?" I was like, "Yeah, I know him." Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, "Damn right."
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm in the middle of Walmart. I guess I shouldn't holler that. Sorry, how you doing?
Yeah. See, this is what you need to do. Instead of being all my life, you need to be recording this, doing exactly what you're doing, and being Chucky, being the idiot. And I say that out of respect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Because that your personality, how you are, because that's you, that's good stuff.
Says shopping with Chucky 101.
Yeah. Right now I'm about to sneeze my eyeballs out from blowing some of the candles. It's a long walk back here.
Yeah. There was there's a few YouTube channels there. Of course, Buff and myself, and Aaron Harmon, and Puddin from Puddin's Fab Shop. He was there, and he's big enough. He just had his chair sitting there, and everybody was coming to him. So he had that going for him. But
that'd be nice.
But it was still cool, but it sets me back, because I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that. I don't really get it, but I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Finally started getting it after this weekend. It's like, okay, I'm just going to embrace it. But the guys that want to take a picture with me, were actually some guys I've been talking to on Facebook for 4 years since I started this venture. And, but still yet, they come, it's like, man, I want to take a picture with, you and your trucks or whatever. And it's like, okay, I don't care. And I'll do a little plug for, I don't know if it's Benco or BNCO. I need to call him and talk to him. But the guy that owns this company, he's one of the vendors that they make some high end billet stuff like door handles, headlight rings. He actually come to our booth just to see me and visit with me because he's a fan. Awesome. And he's also got some really cool stuff. So we talked about some things. I do have something he sent with me that I'll be doing a video on that ironically is probably worth more than the rest of the truck, but it's cool though because even the guy with CK Truck Magazine.
Oh.
I ran into him, started talking to him. He's like, yeah, I know you're, he's busy, so he doesn't get to watch the channel. He doesn't have a lot of time to watch it, but he knew who I was. He's like, yeah. And, we talked for quite a while. That's and really hit it off. Awesome. So, it's just, it really, I don't know if humbled me is the right word, but I guess that's the only word that comes to mind. But it humbled me to realize where this is taking me. Way out of my comfort zone. Way out of my comfort zone. Because that's what I was telling us.
I heard one of y'all talk about it one time. Because I thought of that when I get to No Name Nationals, and I thought of that when I went and seen Travis at his place. Like, this is kind of weird. Like, I feel like I'm on Tinder. Like, I met somebody online, and I'm just randomly just walking with somebody.
Well, I got over that part of it years ago when I was building chainsaws because I was meeting guys on these forums.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about chainsaw stuff, and I was the builder, and everybody kind of knew me then. So I've had a taste of the, I guess, fame, if you want to call it that, before. Where I'd show up and everybody knew who I was, and all that stuff, but it was a little bit different there than this YouTube thing for some reason. But yeah, I would drive across the country to a chainsaw get together just to meet a bunch of guys and play with chainsaws all weekend.
Oh wow,
nice!
And the first time I done it, my wife at the time's like, "You don't even know these people. What if it's like a cult?" I'm like, "It's not a cult. It's guys on the forum. They're guys just like me." But then when I got there, like pulling down the guy's driveway, I'm like, what if this is like some sort of weird thing? I mean, stuff started going through my head. I'm like, and I almost turned around and went back home. But it's like, I drove 5 hours. I'm going to at least check the guys out, But, just the same thing with No Name Nationals. I ended up meeting really good friends.
Right.
And really cool guys. And, this truck show, going to it, that was way out of my comfort zone. And I'm dragging my wife. And I've got, Buff driving my truck, and he's trusting me that I've got a truck that's going to get him there and not kill him. And, it's like a lot goes into this, but I kind of say all that to hopefully get you over your anxiety of filming stuff.
Right.
So you're missing the comments. Shopcat said chainsaw cult, and then he said no name cult, and then 47 said it's not a cult until you start selling square body tracksuits.
Okay, hold on, wait a minute. I gotta read this. No name cult. It's so I do have square body stuff leggings. And I have a video. Yes, I actually have a video with me wearing some. I think I've got a
Drink Bud
pair of them
Light?
here in the shop. Do I? Not no. I drink real stuff.
Steve says he just saw a good deal on Bud Light. I'm assuming in your background there, Chucky.
Oh, I don't care. About Walmart?
What's that?
It's in my background.
Yeah. Steve said that he saw a good deal on Bud Light, and I'm assuming it's in your background.
Oh, well, me and Steve can have a talk. I drink England, American made. You look good in those, Chad.
So did
Well,
you find
not
it fitting or no?
Not these particular ones. I ordered these, and they ended up being like extra smalls or smalls.
Extra small is what them squat trucks got over there.
Yeah, extra small. They don't fit. I got some in the house that do fit me.
Buff said Stumpy needs those leggings.
Yeah.
So did you find
I
it
don't know
fitting?
if y'all did, but I never hung out in the Walmart parking lot.
No.
Nah. I was chasing something, if you know what I'm saying.
Did you find it fitting then?
I did. They're all red. They look cool. They look like you got high performance parts on it.
There you go.
That'll work.
And a can of Fixie Flat. I got some where did I put my wheels off of 70, the old buggy wheels off the old F100 trucks, and one of them wouldn't.
We lost audio.
Think.
There he is.
Sorry.
Yeah, we didn't see you pay, Chucky. Did you just walk out with them, or?
Oh no, I paid. That's $20. I've got $20 and $50 to death this week. Hey. Now my buddy is. I'm supposed to go to his house and.
See ya. Have a good night.
See you later, Travis.
Travis is leaving.
No.
No, Java.
Java's
One of
leaving.
the guys in the chat.
Good night, bud. No, so hopefully that fixes it. That would be nice. I still know the timing's off a little, but I'll be honest, I ain't never said it with I've never really played much with a distributor other than I watch it on YouTube and figure it out. But that joker was backfiring, pouring fuel everywhere. It was awful.
So do you have a timing light, or are you just setting it by ear?
Well, the first time I set it by ear, and then my brother bought his timing light over there. Then I had to watch another YouTube video on how to figure out how to use it because I've never used one. But I'm being honest. I mean, I'm as honest as it gets. I don't ever lie.
And I'm laughing at the thought that you need to be catching all of this on camera.
Video, yes.
And just being honest about it. It's like, I don't know how to use one of these things, so wait a minute. I got to watch a YouTube video so I can learn how to figure out how to use this stupid thing. That would be awesome.
So frustrated because my buddy came over and goes, man, why aren't you recording all this? I'm like, dude, that's the last thing on my mind. Because I've literally been going to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, getting up at 6 o'clock and working on this thing, trying to get it going by this weekend. And I'm just like, man, that's the last thing on my mind right now. I know I needed to. I do. And I was going to make a long video and talk about everything I did to it and what happened and why I didn't record and everything that broke. There's a lot more stuff that I just didn't go into detail. But I'm just like, man, I don't have time to sit here. Because, for one, I can't figure out my GoPros. They're jacked up. And so I got to use my phone to record, and I'm having to use my phone every 5 minutes to look up something. So it'd be like, stop, record, record, stop, record, record, stop, record, you know? And I'm just like, F that. I got to get this car. Because I know Buff said it best, and he didn't mean this no kind of wrong, and you said it, and Travis has said it. People are not going to come to my channel for mechanical advice.
No.
And that's
No.
why, and I understand that. They want to see me do dumb stuff like go mud riding in a Crown Victoria and barrel it off in a mud hole and hold it to the floor and let it go.
We also want to see you go to Walmart after you've been to O'Reilly's, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply in the middle of the night looking for an air fitting and talking to people in Walmart. We want to see that too. We want to see all of it because First Responder Garage says, well, he's got to go. See you later, First Responder. I've got a few of these guys are cutting out, but he says, Chucky, your channel is going to take off, but you got to get this stuff on. You got to get it on film. And if it's what it takes, because you're doing it on your phone, if you got to say, okay, well, hold on a minute, I got to look something up on my phone because I don't know what I'm doing, and then it cuts to, okay, I looked it up, watched the video, now we're going to do this, something like that. I mean, if you don't just capture it, you don't have to use it, but if you don't have it, then you're never going to be able to use it.
And to hear you talk about it, while it's still going to be good, it's not going to be as good as if you caught it live.
Yeah. Because I tried to make it short because I have one video where the flames hit the little cloth part of the hood, and I'm right there at it. I'm like, dear God in heaven, I'm going to blow my eyebrows off. Because I was so mad. This is pretty funny. My buddy's like, John, and he's like, I looked at him, and it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, is it too early to start drinking? And he's like, man, we can't start drinking at 9:30. And I was like, no, I need to take the buzz off. And I was started hammering them from 9:30 to 2 o'clock in the morning. We were just dropping them. But I'm just like, I get aggravated, and then I get one track minded. I know I need to stop being that way, but all I can think about is I've waited all year to go to this event because that's one of the big ones, and I've already ordered. I think I got the GoPro thing figured out, but I've already ordered mounts to go on the outside of the car, on the inside of the car, all this stuff to get good video, the biggest SD card you can get. I'm like, man, that's going to be the video that everybody is going to want to watch. But
they would love to watch this video if you was recording this right now.
Yes,
this is hilarious, and
Well, I do need to do a better job of it, and I know it'll be better when I get the GoPro thing situated because I can just set it there and leave it.
Yeah.
Learn how to edit through all the me walking away and all that stuff.
Well, and when I tell you this stuff, I'm also preaching to myself because I had to. The video I'm working on right now, putting together from the dyno deal, we were the three of us, me and the two guys running the dyno shop. We would get to talking about stuff and cutting up and carrying on. And Jeff, one of the guys, is like, "You need to be recording this." I'm like, oh. So we would literally start over. Those guys were awesome. We started conversations over and over because I wasn't recording it. But
y'all are not going to believe this, but I'm getting pulled over.
All right, we'll see you later, Chucky.
See you later, Chucky.
See y'all.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That. I hope the best for him.
Me too.
So I'm gonna go back through the chat here. I know a couple of guys, First Responder and Shot Cat, cut out because they need to get going. It's too late to say goodbye because they're already gone. But see you later, guys. Bub says better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Yeah, that's one of my big sayings.
Irish says listening to him while he's looking stuff up would be just as good. And yeah, I think going back and rehashing it could be good, but the live capture is just it would be hilarious. and a good video, and he's the guy for it. Like, he's got that personality. I couldn't make that video, but his would be hilarious. I just hope he records it.
Well, we'll hang out. Maybe if he don't go to jail, maybe he'll come back on. I should have said come back on as soon as that blows over. But
yeah,
I mean, Chucky has that personality that he needs a camera on him like the whole time.
Yes,
he needs someone holding the camera for him just to record everything.
Everything.
I wish, man. I can't say. I mean, I'm me. That's all I'm ever going to be.
Yes.
But sometimes I wish I had personally like him, and be able to catch that. But also, I also understand some of his frustration. You're a one-man show. You're doing stuff, and you get focused on stuff, and you don't catch it. You don't turn the camera on. You're just like, I just want to get this done, even though I know that if I just had my camera on me and recorded some of what I do off the camera that nobody ever gets to see, it would probably bring more entertainment value to my channel. But there's also some of it's like, I don't know if I really want people to see that side of me or not. But then again, maybe I should take my own advice that I'm giving to Chucky and just do it,
Yeah.
Uh-oh. County T, and they don't find something to keep you. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Everybody say they'll pray for Chucky.
Yeah, hopefully everything turns out for him.
But, with his personality, you never know. He may just say, oh, man, I don't know. He's just one of those guys that seems like he'd probably talk himself out of anything.
Yeah.
I guess.
Night.
Donnie Long, if you saying good night, we'll see you later. Good having you in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing. The real me, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm just doing like a how-to, if I'm just working on stuff, I'm pretty dry because I'm just working on stuff. But yeah, it depends.
Well, Irish, his real me is a fun video to watch as well.
Yeah.
And the real the real me is not. It's not that entertaining.
Yeah. Well, if everybody watching has not gathered this by now, that Travis and I are a lot alike.
Yes.
When we're together, like Travis and Amber and me and Mr. Square Buddy, all four of us together. Amber and my wife are, I think, sitting back and laughing at us the whole time because it's like, how are they so much alike? And because we are a lot alike, and it's comical.
Yes. Buff says we're like twins. Steve says, unfortunately, inexpensive parts on. Hopefully not. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, thanks, ASO.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay. I've got someone wanting to come in. Maybe it's Chucky. Yep, it's Chucky. Here we go.
Welcome
How
back.
was it? What happened?
Hold up, got on my window. Well, I ain't going to jail.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. She said, she's pretty too. I tried to get her number. She wouldn't let me.
Oh.
I asked her, I said, I really wish I could have recorded this because I saw it on TikTok a couple weeks ago. This pretty cop lady walks up and she's like, the old buddy asked her, have you ever had any guy ask her to handcuff you? And she was like, no. So when she rolled up, I was like, hey, you handcuff people for free? She's like, you're getting a warning. You ain't getting no ticket. That's a good pickup line. I was like, dang it. If I'd have had that on
You really said that?
Hell yeah!
And didn't go to jail?
No, she's like, hey, you're going 50 and a 35. I was like, my bad. I forgot right here's a little speed trap. She's like, yeah, it's kind of lame. I was like, yeah, it is pretty lame. She's like, what was you doing on your phone? I was like, well, I was on a YouTube live. I was talking to my friends. And she's like, are you at YouTube? In the video. She started laughing. She's like, all right, slow down. I was like, okay. And then I kid y'all not. She said, and next time, slide them beer cans under that seat a little bit more. I was like, oh.
I told y'all, Chucky's gonna talk himself out of it somehow.
Anything. Oh wow.
I was like, all right. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, Buff said to get her number for him. Buff's single.
Oh. Well, sorry, Buff.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, Steve's got this internet gold. You should have said, hey, you should have asked her, say, hey, can I record this? Like, you walk back up and we can start this over and I can record this.
I should have. Dang it.
Oh, man.
That would have been awesome. Oh, me. Well, guys, I'm about to pull up my buddy's house. He may have the fit. If the airlines don't work, I'm gonna see if he's got a fitting too. But
all right.
All right.
Y'all be careful.
Okay, get that camera rolling because you need to check all this. All right, see you later, buddy.
Have a good night. See ya.
Of course, you know, the other bad thing is now Chucky's gone. There went our entertainment. Now it's just me and you, Travis.
Hey, so I said there, you would have spent 2 weeks in the drunk tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of I don't have that kind of luck. Like if that had been me, I'd have been going to jail for sure.
Yeah, it would have been this right here. One fitting cost $4,500, a $450 tow bill.
Yes. For sure.
Man, that's he's a character, and I hope he can.
So we just have to remember when he's got 10 million subscribers on YouTube, we can say we knew him when he was struggling to get over 300.
Yeah, we watched him get pulled over on my live. Yeah. On our show.
He'll be our
we watched him get pulled over. Yeah. That's the other thing is I'm thinking about the future, and dream about it. It's like what's going to be like, 5 years from now. I'm 4 years into this, and just thinking about what's the next 4 years going to bring. Where am I going to be at in the next 4 years?
Yeah.
And it's kind of instances like this. I hope we remember this and think. Remember that one time we was on a live, Chucky got pulled over and
yeah. Yeah, so it says he has his number and knows where he lives. I have his number. I don't know where he lives.
Yeah. See, Chucky makes our lives great.
Yeah.
Our live videos great.
Amber says you'll have that silver play button in 4 years.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but I wasn't really thinking about how many subscribers and stuff, just like the stories and people, reflecting, where are we going to be at and reflecting back on the moments like this.
Like 4 years from now, that's another 4 no-name nationals under our belt.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Yeah, we had 20 in the chat room. Now there's 14. Now Chucky's gone. Everybody left.
Yeah.
Not really. I don't think anybody else at least nobody signed off or said a night, but I think that 20 is before First Responder and Shop Cat left. No Name will have a name by then. Yeah.
So
yeah. What?
I lost the thought. Sorry.
No. See, that's about the only entertainment me and you have, Travis. Is we'll start a thought and then lose it like that, and where sometimes I can't talk plainly, and it usually doesn't have anything to do with this. I'm more articulate and easier to understand when I have this.
Yeah.
I know.
Chucky back.
Yeah. Hey, Chucky, come back, Chucky.
Yeah, he is, and like when he came up and hung out with us at the house, he's like just that person that we just saw on live all the time.
Yeah,
he's and he's a really nice guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if he could just capture that.
Yes.
Yeah, he would blow by all of us with subs and everything.
He'll figure it out.
Bring Chucky back. Yeah. Let's start calling this the Chucky Show.
Yeah.
Chuck, we'll use Chucky to get our subs. There we go.
There you go.
Nah.
I don't even remember what we were talking about when when the whole thing started.
I don't know, but it's funny. I mean, yeah, because that's just his personality. I love it. You know.
Yes, I do. I and it's not that I enjoy watching his videos for the entertainment value, and I feel bad for him at the same time because like he's trying really hard to get he's really trying really hard to get the Crown Vic running, and or what a lot of it was the Buick and stuff, I guess, but it's just fun to it's entertaining to watch it, and I feel bad because I'm kind of laughing at his misery, but at the same time, that's kind of a lot of what YouTube is about on a lot of channels.
Well, that's all I said is you know, our misfortune is our viewers' entertainment.
Yes.
And that's what we need to capture. You know, and I'm guilty of doing that. You know, it's like, this ain't going well. I'm getting aggravated, and I'll cut the camera off and fix the situation, then come back to it. But like, I really need to be filming this because I could be kind of maybe not Chucky entertaining, but I could be colorful whenever things are going wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, Chucky stole our lives, and that's great.
He did.
I love it. I love it
too.
Yeah, I've seen that, Jacob, because I kept thinking, man, I need to be able to at you, is what I call it, on Facebook. And you didn't have a official Facebook thing, so now you do for your channel, so it works out good.
Awesome.
And it's one of those little things with this adventure that I know it's kind of cool. You know, you get your own, you know, you have a YouTube channel, and then you get your Facebook stuff set up so it all kind of works together, and it could get confusing, especially on my side of things, because I probably, you know, I got the two Facebook deals that kind of work together, but they can also be kind of confusing because I got my personal page, just a regular page. That's you know, my name and then Square Body stuff, and then I have the actual channels page that's like a business page. So it's
Okay.
there's only so many. There's certain things I can't do with it, and certain a lot of groups won't allow a business page to comment on them. And I'm sure there's, and actually your Facebook page. I've been meaning to ask, or say something to Amber see if she can see if there's a setting, because on the on your guys' Facebook group, I can't comment on it through my regular Square Body Stuff business page.
Really?
I've got to go to my personal page to see what's going on in there.
Huh.
I don't know.
I'm sure Amber's still listening to the live.
Yeah.
Chucky's told you all side. That sounds like a country song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check out his Facebook page.
So
I'll
we do have J-Bo in the chat, so we have that going for us. We don't have Chucky anymore, but we got the J-Bo.
As Steve's asking what Chucky's bringing to know, as far as I know, his Gambler 500 No Name Nationals, or Gambler 500 Crown Vic is what he's bringing to No Name Nationals.
By then, who knows what he's bringing?
Yeah.
Oh, so Auto Salvage Outlaws sold him the Crown Vic. You sold him the Crown Vic, and it was running okay. I just want to make sure that we're getting that right. And now he's searching for a fitty because he can't get it running. I mean, and I'm honestly not making fun of the guy, because he's honest with all of this. He's honest with everybody. Yeah. He don't know what he's doing. But that's entertaining. That is entertaining. You know, he took a perfectly good running car and now it don't run, and he's got a big event that he's been looking forward to in 2 days, and he's got to get the car running. Like if he put that all together and made videos out of that, it would almost look scripted.
Yes.
Because that's hilarious. That is hilarious, and not because I'm not making fun of the guy at all, but I think it's cool. I think it's cool that he just keeps doing it, even though he don't know what he's doing. He just keeps doing it, and he's gonna make something of the car. He's gonna make it happen. I know he is.
Yeah. ASO says he's too honest, and I think, as far as the whole scripted thing, that's kind of why it would sound that way, because he's like, and it's one of those, you're not going to believe this stories.
Yeah.
But it's all real life and happening to him.
J-Bo wants some Ryan's big head jokes.
Tongue-tied Chad.
Yeah, I get that way a lot. It's frustrating. It's actually hereditary, I think, because my dad, my grandpa was that way. All my uncles on my dad's side of the family are all that way. Our mouths can't work as fast as our brains or something. I don't know. Yeah, Steve, yes. Naive comedy sells, and that's exactly what Chucky has going for him. It's that naive comedy but he don't even realize how funny it is.
Yes.
Yeah, J-Bo, I agree with you. J-Bo is needs to be a bigger part of the BTP channel.
Yeah.
Wow, this live's kind of gone all over the place. I like it.
They usually do.
Yeah, I never thought we'd have someone being pulled over. I did have the thought earlier on, whenever we were listening to him and he's driving around, I'm like, watch him get pulled over. right on live YouTube.
Look, you caused it. You put that
I didn't.
vibe in the world.
I didn't say anything though. I thought it, and I mean, think about it. And well, I mean, we don't have to think about it. It actually happened. But that's kind of what the image I had in my head. How funny would it be for him to be pulled over because of his personality?
Yes.
And him get out of it because he's going to joke around and just be him. And
yeah,
that's exactly what happened. Not me. I get pulled over like that. And yeah, I lose my license and
yeah,
pay a bunch of money to a lawyer.
The $4,500 ticket and the $450 tow bill and get your car out of impound. And
no, at least my truck didn't get impounded. They let my wife drive it to pick me up at the jail when she had just as much to drink as I did. And go figure. Hey, Steve, thank you. Thank you very much for becoming a member of the Square Body Stuff Society, I guess it is. You know, I was talking about the car show, maybe. Well, I mean, I was talking about it earlier and not like comprehending how people perceive me or see me, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like everyone that come up and talk to me, and I was like, how much of the shirts and stuff? I just want to give them away. You know, it's like, here you go. But can't really do that because that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, you know, everybody else is charging X amount of dollars for shirts and hats. I'm like, for me, that's ridiculous. The prices are ridiculous for shirts and hats and all that stuff. But, you know, my wife and I were discussing, you know, how much we're going to charge for them. And I said, you know, just $25 for a hat, $25 for a shirt. I don't know. And no one bats an eye at that.
Yeah.
You know, no one even like, oh, okay, just whip out the money. There you go. It's like, it's crazy for me. Crazy. All right. We'll see you later, Jacob.
See ya. Have a good night.
Everybody make sure to go subscribe to his channel. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of footage he got from the truck show.
Check out his new Facebook page.
Yeah, check out his new Facebook page. Yeah. I'm trying to the shirts and everything that we've got. I haven't even sold enough to break even, and we're about out of them. That's where I've got to figure it all out. I need to get working on a website so I can, you know, sell them on a website. But that's just another thing that I don't have any clue how to even. I mean, we've played around with it a little bit, but I haven't got anything set up.
So Richard's, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Richard's wife set up a Shopify account, and there's people on Fiverr and it's not real expensive. I think it's like $45. They'll completely do your website for you and make it so it's like turnkey and ready for you to start doing it. I don't know much about it. Amber set up our website.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need to talk to Amber about that.
That is definitely who you need to talk to about that. Awesome.
Oh, and of course that brings up another thing. We were on the poker run, and I was trying to get out of the parking lot we was in with all this trucks and stuff in it. It was the O'Reilly's parking lot, I think it was. And I looked I looked at the back glass to make sure there's no one coming around, and there's a guy standing there with a square body stuff shirt on. And I like stop, and I'm looking, I thought, do I recognize him? Do I know him? Didn't have a clue who he was. And then it dawned on me. It was like, oh, it's just someone that bought a shirt from me. And
nice.
At the next stop, I went up to him, shook his hand and everything, introduced myself. Of course, I realized I don't necessarily have to introduce myself because they already know who I am. That's weird for me too. Like, hi, I'm Chad from Square by Stuff. Like, yeah, I kind of know I'm wearing your shirt. Okay. But, and I had to ask him, I said, I asked him his name and everything, and I didn't recognize it. And he said, no, I'm not on Facebook or anything like that. He said, I just watched your show and ordered your shirt and everything. It's like, okay, cool. It's just one of those little moments that's like, oh, this is really happening.
Yeah. That's cool that not only did you get to meet somebody who is somebody who's been watching your channel and you had no other interactions with them, but in person at a truck show, I mean, what's 8 hours from your house or 7 hours from your house?
Yeah, about 5.5, 6 hours. But yeah, it's really cool. And I found him at the show and just hung out with him for a little bit and visited with him. It was just a really cool experience. Just the whole thing all the way around was a really cool experience.
Awesome.
But I didn't have my buddy Travis with me, so I was kind of sad.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'll see you at No Name Nationals for sure.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, because there's all sorts of shows all around. It's like I wanted to hit as many as I possibly could this year, but I'm gonna scale it back. Just hit a couple big ones and ease ourselves into it because me and Mrs. Square Body are not big crowd
I don't know
people.
If it's my internet or your internet, but you're getting very robot-y on me.
It's probably mine.
I didn't hear what you were saying. Not so many shows, I think.
Yeah, we're. Let's see. Yeah, I was planning on doing a bunch of shows this year as many as we could, but only hit a couple big ones. I lost my train of thought now.
We all we were planning on doing was the truck gathering, and then obviously No Name Nationals, and hopefully going to make it to the drag strip a couple of times. But then, like I said, my daughter basic training graduation in San Antonio at the beginning of June, and then the time suck and pocket draining Jeep is becoming and it's really not that bad. It's just we need to. It's at the point now where it's less about we don't have a ton of money in it, but we just need to get rid of it, and we've got enough tied up in it now that we have to just get it done and get it gone as soon as possible. And so that's a big part of it is just trying. I really wanted to have the Jeep listed and sold a month ago, but it's still obviously not running or driving.
Yeah.
Well, it's running if you wait 5 minutes for the computer to warm up, so it'll start.
J-Bo said
I will.
Thank your daughter for her service. The patina on the 66 turned out nice. I need to watch that.
Thank you. I'm really excited about that car. Again, it's unfortunately sitting out there waiting for me to work on it because the Jeep. And I really am. I'm excited about working on that one. And we've gotten to the point now where we're not filming a lot on the Jeep. We're just doing a couple of small videos on it, just to not really for like filler content. I just don't want to make a bunch of videos on the Jeep because I've realized watching some of the footage, I'm not interested in the Jeep, and it's really hard to make a video on something that I'm not interested in. So as soon as this thing is gone, it's going to be a lot of fury and getting the red truck back out of the trailer content, and I'm excited for that. And
Yeah.
right now I have to focus, and I would love to just push this thing out and work on something else, but I need it gone sooner than later.
Yeah.
So I need to finish it now. So
yeah, just muscle your way through it, get it over with.
hopefully this will be the last week of suffering on the Jeep, and then it'll be done and just waiting for somebody else to own it. And then we can get back to some fun projects.
Yeah.
Like because race truck.
Because race truck. Yeah, we need some race truck on the Perpetual Projects channel.
Well, I can tell you for sure the next couple videos on the race truck are not going to be very interesting because the next thing on its list of things is getting the motor pulled out and tore down so I can fix some things that I didn't do right the first time because it was because make it run and not because race truck, and now it needs to be better so that it doesn't because blowed up.
Yeah. I mean, it would make good content, but
yeah, I don't think it would because I don't know. It'll be total disaster. I'm worried about it dropping a valve or breaking a rod bolt. And then it would be because parked in the trailer because I don't have an extra engine to put in it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I just don't enjoy making the video. I don't enjoy working on the Jeep, and I think I feel like it comes out in the videos. And Amber told me too. She's like, "You don't look very excited working on the Jeep," and I kind of feel like so the twin stick video. I was really excited about making that video, and I think it turned out pretty good. Just because it was like it's not a Jeep thing. It's like something that I've seen, and I wanted to see if I could figure out how to build it with crap that I had laying under my bench here, and I got it done, and it works. And that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy doing, like not building the Jeep.
Anything but the Jeep.
Well, and then we did the fuel pump video, putting the Cherokee fuel pump in the CJ tank without cutting a big hole in the top of the tank. I really enjoyed that because I was able to make the fuel pump work on the stock pickup. It's like a new car with the electric fuel pump in the tank on the old CJ7 pickup.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff that I like, figuring out those problems and making stuff like that that's not supposed to work.
You didn't. Well, I guess you did miss. Yeah, you did miss some stuff, Tasha. We had a guy on here, Chucky. We watched him get pulled over live while he was drinking and driving. I do not condone that. I used to live that life, and I no longer do because of pretty much the same thing happened to me. It didn't turn out as good for me though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would make a very interesting subject and video. I think somebody should do
that.
I was thinking. I think about that all the time. I was like, I need to get that thing done. I know people are tired of waiting on me, and when I hear you talk about the Jeep thing, it's like I don't want the stroker to become that project where I lose interest in it and it starts to become a thing. So I do have to take a break from it sometimes to get everything else done. But in engine build, this is the longest. I won't say the longest it's ever taken me to build an engine because the big block that's in my crew cab took me probably 5 years. It was a really slow process, but that was because funds. I didn't have much money back then. Not that I have a bunch now, but I got most of the parts for the stroker. It's just I don't have the time now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was really happy with how that turned out. It was looking a little bleak for a little bit, but everything worked out in the end. I didn't.
And
I almost got defeated by something that I never expected to be a problem. I almost got beat by the sock on the end of the fuel pump.
oh, really?
Yeah. So the Grand Cherokee uses one of those units that's like the whole sending unit canister module is what they call it.
Yeah.
Well, the sock is all built into that, and there's no provision on the pump itself to put any kind of sock on it. So I had to get creative, and I ordered parts that I thought was going to work, and they ended up working, but not in the way that I thought they were going to work. But it has a sock on it, and it's stayed on there, and it's in the tank. So, and it works. So,
and that's the stuff I miss about when I was building rock crawlers and just kind of piece together stuff, because I would literally I'd get on O'Reilly's website and I'd just start looking for parts that had certain dimensions, like the master cylinder.
Yeah.
And I get the part numbers and I go down to the local O'Reilly's and they said, "What are you looking for?" And I told them, I said, "Well, I need a master cylinder for this, but it's going on a 69 Jeepster Commando with a 305 Chevy, turbo 350 transmission, and a 205 transfer case out of a 79 Ford." And like, do you have the part numbers? Oh yeah, I got the part numbers. Here they are.
Yeah.
Then but I'd order like 2 or 3 different master cylinders or brake boosters just to see what I could make fit in the space I had to with what I had to work with. And I wish I had a YouTube channel back then doing that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of just taking what was available at the local auto parts store. It wasn't one-off stuff. It was just taking what's available and making it all work together.
Yeah.
One of we call it the Bat Jeep that I built. It was a ground-up full tube chassis. I built the whole vehicle. I started out with 2 axles sitting on jack stands, and built the axles with axle trusses and all that stuff. And it was all stuff I designed on the CAD program and plased out on the plas table. It wasn't stuff that we bought anywhere else. I fabbed all this stuff. Built the full tube chassis, but to get the brakes and all of that stuff to work, I was finding parts from all sorts of different things to make it work together.
Awesome.
I can't remember exactly what I ended up using, but it's like I think the brake booster was off of a YJ. And yeah, because one of the bosses had a YJ, and I was looking at his and like, oh, I think that booster is small enough.
It's actually a pretty useful booster because it is pretty small, and it's got a cool mount on it too.
Yeah, but I think I used I want to say I used a 1-ton, like a 2000 or something model 1-ton GM master cylinder on it.
Oh,
because it had a huge bore, like 1 1/8 bore.
Okay.
If I remember right, yeah, it was like 2 or 3 different things just to get the brakes to work right, and they worked great. It was a lot of pedals. Of course, he had 40, I think 40s on it, 40-inch tires to 42. They were 42-inch TSLs.
Oh wow!
So he had a lot of tire, and the rig actually, we never did scale it to see how much it weighed, but it was pretty heavy. There's a lot of tube in it, but you needed a lot of brakes because that can, you know, if you're going up something, you need to have the brakes to hold you there. If you're going down, you need to have the brakes to keep you from sliding all, going too far. But yeah, that kind of stuff was a lot of fun, just mixing and matching and making stuff work. And using off-the-shelf stuff, not using real fancy aftermarket stuff.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing with the Jeep. You can order anything you want out of a catalog for this Jeep, but I'm not trying to have 50 grand in this thing.
Yeah.
It's not that Jeep. But if you wanted that Jeep, it's easy. You just get on some of the websites and you can order about anything you want for one of these things. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
But.
Well, yeah, that is handy with the Jeeps because they are so popular.
Yeah.
You can you can find anything for them. Yes. And that was actually kind of the whole point of dynoing the 454 because, I mean, it dynoed, it made more horsepower than what I thought it would, which was awesome. But I wanted a kind of A to B comparison between the two on the same hub dyno. I do want to have I really want to have the 339 dynoed on the engine dyno, and then dyno it on the hub dyno, and try to keep everything the same as far as what's on the engine. That way I can kind of see how much horsepower my drivetrain takes out.
Yeah.
And with that information, I could kind of actually see how much horsepower the 454 makes at the flywheel. Because I know something that's never made sense to me is people say, well, a transmission takes so many percent, and a rear end takes so many percent out. Well, to me, it's not a percent because it doesn't matter if you have a 150 horsepower 305 in front of a transmission or powering it, or 600 horse whatever in front of it. That transmission differential, all that's going to take the same amount of horsepower to move, regardless of what's in front of it. So it's not a percentage. It takes so much horsepower to make that stuff move.
Yeah, I don't have. The only thing that I could see maybe possibly is if you put more power in, it might cause more friction.
Possibly, but
I don't think that would be measurable, really.
I mean, I guess on an automatic, the torque converter, I guess there is maybe a little bit of a percentage there, but a manual gearbox and a rear end, it takes a certain amount of horsepower to make it turn.
Yeah, to get that weight moving.
So, because it wouldn't make sense that if you had a 100 horsepower engine, if a transmission or for differential takes 10%. So if you had a 100 horsepower engine in front of it, you're taking 10 horsepower. But if you have a 1,000 horsepower engine in front of it, that rear end is not taking 100 horsepower to move. It's still taking the roughly 10 horsepower. Those are hypothetical round numbers. It's easy to manage in a brain like mine, but and like you're saying, what you said does make a little bit of sense. There may be more load on it, may take a little more horsepower, but not.
It's not going to be 10 to 100.
No.
It's going to be minimal, the difference. And then I was thinking maybe gear ratio, but gear ratio would work the opposite way if you were in a lower gear than final, because if the engine has a mechanical advantage over the drive shaft in any gear but the final drive, you would think that would take less power.
Yeah.
I don't know. Beyond my engineering degree, which is not one.
0.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I do plan on, and actually the guys that have the dyno, the hub dyno, I told them what the plans are with the truck, what I'm doing with it and everything. They said, as soon as I get that 339 in there, I better bring it back up. and also have a full bottle of nitrous, because they want to play with that thing.
They want you to bring the jets too?
Yeah. They said, bring everything, full bottle of nitrous. We want to play with that 339. They love the truck.
Awesome.
It was really cool because these guys are used to having 2,000 to 3,000 horsepower monsters on this thing, and they literally told me, said, your truck is the funnest truck or funnest vehicle we've had on this dyno.
Awesome.
And it didn't make sense to me. I mean, it did, but it didn't. I mean, because my truck is not at that level, but for them, I mean, they were having a blast. I just kind of was like, all right, whatever you guys want to do, let's do it. Let's have fun. I'm fine with it. But then when it came time to do the nitrous pool, I was a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
I said,
You've
nobody's
never
staying.
sprayed the big block before, have you ever?
No, this is the first time I sprayed the big block, and I said, nobody's staying in line with the drive shaft. I said, it's a factory drive shaft, but I know who put all of it in there. So don't stand in the way, because I don't know. But I think I've already given away. I've told several people the torque numbers that it made on the nitrous, and it was like 632 foot-pounds of torque at almost 3,500 RPM. It was a lot of torque.
Yeah.
And actually, it was like, yeah, that's getting close to like diesel torque range.
That sounds like wheel stand torque range to me.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, if it'll withstand that much torque, I think I'll be okay.
I think so.
Because when I go to the 339, I'm not going to be putting out that much torque. I doubt I'll ever reach that torque number with that 339.
That depends on how big of nitrous jets you put in it.
Yeah, and I think the nitrous kit that I have right now, I've got up to 250 horse jets for it, and I really don't think that the solenoids and everything else will handle much more. So I'm gonna have to upgrade the system if I'm gonna put more nitrous to it, which it'll handle more than that. The engine will, or should.
Yeah.
But I would like to probably go to like a 2-stage setup. That way, maybe have the second stage come in after I'm in 4th gear.
Chucky's looking for the link.
Uh-oh, Chucky's back. Hold on just a minute, Chucky.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Just a minute, Chucky. All right, there, I figured it out. Drag anyway. You may have to expound on that, if that's the right word, Steve. Oh, okay. I got it now. I didn't see that comment. Oh yeah, that's the coolest thing about this truck, or one of the coolest things that other people think is cool about it, is I'm leaving the SM465 in it, and that's what I'm hoping the claim to fame with this truck is going to be, is that granny low 4-speed. All right, we got Chucky back. What's going on, Chucky?
Well, did you find your fitting?
I did. This is so funny. So my buddy, years ago, me and him, we bought like a 1984 Ford Ranger 4-wheel drive. Old buddy flipped it at his farm. We bought it for like $400. We fixed it up. Me and him sold it for like $2,500. Well, we fixed it up by buying an old 2-wheel drive Ford Ranger. Had a little 4-banger in it. Timing belt broke. Anyhow, well, we cut it in half, made him a little yard trailer. We have gotten more parts off that little Ford Ranger than anything I've ever seen in my life. I had a carburetor spring, needed it. It's just that little Ford. I told him the other day that we need to find a bunch of old 80 model Ford Rangers and just buy them. Just for the parts. Let her sit out
Just
the
for
back
the
passenger.
parts.
Just for the parts. So I'm finally headed back home now. Hopefully I get it going by 1 or 2 in the morning.
So when did your
Chucky,
gambler start?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I think we lost him.
He's still there, but not there.
Huh.
Jacob Carter said his square body fever is going up.
Yeah, all you guys in your drag racing videos has got my drag racing fever going crazy. He
got pulled over again. Well, I don't know. I hate to say it. I hope he didn't get in a wreck or something. And
I don't think that just
Chucky?
makes the camera go black like that.
I don't know. Chucky?
There he is.
There he is. Okay.
Am I back?
You're back. We were getting worried. I was getting worried.
Hello. We
Can you hear us?
Nope.
Nope. He gone.
I think he's got phone service problems.
So now he's going to leave us hanging. We're going to have to wait and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Here he comes again. Here he is. All right.
Can you hear us
Are you
now?
back?
That's worse. So, can y'all hear me?
We hear you.
Oh, this ain't good. I'm in the doghouse, fellas. I'll go ahead and tell you. So, I sent a picture of blue lights in my rearview mirror to my wife. Like, I got pulled over. Well, at my buddy John's house, I ain't got no phone service.
Oh,
so
shit.
Oh, yeah. And so she just called. She's like, where are you at? I'm like, oh, boy. She's like, I thought you went to jail. I know you've been drinking. I'm like, I've not been drinking. I'm like, I don't do that. She's like, Nathan Allen Childers. I'm like, oh, flip. She pulled out the middle name. And
Yep.
so she said, like, I've done called you 20 times, texted you like 15 times. I'm like, I've been at John's house, sweetheart. Then I told him, like, some cute cop pulled me over. She's like, oh. So she was cute, huh? I'm like, well, I let her handcuff me. That's all I got to say. She hung up, said, I'll see you when you get home. But whatever.
Let her handcuff you and frisk you and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, if she got it up, she'd have to get it down. So yeah, she was on her way to Coleman County jailhouse, thinking I got put in jail. So she
Oh my goodness!
So she done got my son out of bed. I'm like, Mister, you know I'm not going to jail. Good grief. But I guess you know, whatever. Like, I drive back roads everywhere I go. Oh, man. But yeah, I got the fitting, though. That's the most important part. I got the fitting.
Yeah. That's the big thing. Everybody's wanting to know if you got your fitting or not.
I got the fitting. I think it looks like it. It ought to be it. But and I'm kind of curious. I mean, I didn't see, and I guess I was more pissed off than anything of that original Motorcraft carburetor should have its own vacuum fitting on the carburetor. So technically, I should be able to block the spacer vacuum off if I had to. Could I not?
Yeah, if
would
the
imagine.
carburetor's got a fitting.
That's what I was thinking. Because, I mean, if it came from the factory, essentially with a carburetor like that, there should be a vacuum to it somewhere.
Are you using the factory intake?
Now, yes. So I had, yeah, that's a long story. But now, well, so the car was originally fuel injected, and this is how I got it so cheap. The car was originally fuel injected. Somebody brought it to another guy, a shop, to take all that crap off, put a carburetor on it. So when the guy told him the price, the guy who owned the car said, "No, I'm not paying that," and never showed up to pay it. And so after a year and a half later, I get it. So the guy had to wait a year and a half or a year before he could sell it.
Okay.
So I got it with it being a one-wire distributor, an intake, and a carburetor, and hey, it runs. And so that's kind of where I've been at. So I don't know how long it sat prior, because supposedly I'm the third owner. So the guy, a little old lady, yeah, we've all heard those stories. A little old lady bought it brand new. Well, she passed away, unfortunately. Her son got it. Well, her son didn't care nothing about the car and let it sit for however long. Because the tag that was on it was like 2002.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so this guy's like, hey, I can't get it running. Put a carburetor on it. Do whatever you got to do to put a carburetor on it. And then when the guy told him the price, he was like, no, I'm not paying that. So that's how I got it for the price that I got it at. And so I think I've just been fighting the demons for sitting since 2002. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess I'm just trying to answer your original question about the vacuum line. It sounds like you're hooking up like a pretty big vacuum line.
Yeah, I got a big vacuum line. That's right.
So there's only really two places that I can think of that would go: the brake booster and the PCV system. And I guess the question there would be, if you have one port, you probably don't want to split those, because I don't know if it would ever really charge the brake booster up if you were running it the same line as the PCV. Chad?
I think you're right there.
So if you have a large, like a 3/8 port on the carburetor and one somewhere else on the intake, then plug the spacer. If not, now you have a fitting you can put in the spacer.
Okay.
But you're going to need two. You're going to need one for the PCV and one for the brake booster. And I wouldn't tee those and run them together. I think I would run those on separate ports.
Yeah.
Okay. If I hurry up and get home, I'll figure all that out. I thought I was getting away from aggravation when I got rid of the Buick. I was like, I'm going to go back. Eventually it'll be easier, but I'm like, okay, I'm getting away from all the fuel injection, all the sensors, all the stupid crap that I don't care nothing about, that I want to just cut off. Yeah, and then now I'm like, I'm dealing with all the wiring problems. It's like spaghetti. It's just terrible.
Well, so unfortunately, it sounds like you went from a running fuel-injected car that you had to deal with all that stuff, keeping it working, and now you've got a half-swapped fuel injection car that you've got to figure out how to finish getting it swapped back to a carburetor and make it run right, and then it should be easy.
That is exactly right. And so, like, it was so jerry-rigged. I mean, like, when I pulled the original, or the intake they put on it on, they had intake gaskets just slapped full of make-a gasket. I mean, it was just covered in make-a gasket everywhere. Like, make-a gasket for the, I mean, just you name it, it was make-a gasket. There was not a single, I mean, it was just awful. And I'm just like, what idiot does this crap? And that's something that I wouldn't even do. And that's saying something. And I'm just like, this is beyond me. I mean, I'll go buy a cork gasket for, like valve covers, just straight make a gasket. The exhaust manifold, no gasket. I mean, I'm just like, no donut gaskets, no nothing. I'm like, no wonder why this guy didn't want to pay. I mean, it was just half-ass thrown together.
Jabo says you mean Pookie.
Yeah. Yeah, down in Texas, they call that stuff Pookie. They make a gasket.
Yeah. There was a pile of it.
Pile of Pookie. I think you just found a name for the car, Pookie.
Pile of Pookie.
A pile of it. I mean, a big one. I mean, it runs good and all, but when it does run, it's kind of like the Buick. When it did run, it was good. But whatever. God almighty. I got 2 more days to get this thing completely done, and I still got to lock the rear end. I still got to put the mini spool in it. I still got to finish the front bumper where the winch goes. I mean, I got like a week's worth of work I got to get done in 2 days. So it's been fun. That's all I can say.
Where's your Gambler at?
Bon Aqua, Tennessee. I still got to haul the Buick off. The Buick's still sitting on my trailer. Like it's on blocks on my trailer right now, sitting there. Yeah, it's great. I mean,
sounds like you're gonna have a busy couple of days.
Very busy, very busy. Yeah, so I'll probably go to bed about 2:00 in the morning, and then I'll get up at about 7 and get back to it. It's been great.
Steve says he's getting nervous. Are you almost home?
Oh yeah, I'm a professional at this. Let me go ahead and tell you, Steven.
So we need you to keep the camera rolling when you confront your wife.
I don't know if that'd be a good idea. She might be just absolutely pissed off.
Here's another thing I'd like to note is Travis is usually like nodding off at this point in time and ready to sign off. But you're the Chronicles of Chucky are so interesting that Travis is still bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, big smiles. He's ready to watch.
Y'all want me to keep y'all rolling while I'm working on the car?
Well, maybe not. Maybe not that. We need to see what happens when you get home and your wife hits you over the head with a frying pan or something like that.
I told her I got pulled over, and she's a 911 dispatcher, and she's like, "What is your driver's license number?" I'm like, "I'm not getting pulled over by you." Yeah, but I am about to pull in my driveway, so it's gonna be either good or bad. I guess I better. I doubt she'll come outside if she's not at home. And then I beat her back home, yeah, she's going to probably come in the garage and tell me I'm retarded and stupid. Should have answered the phone. Nope, she's already home. That's good. Yeah, I'm pulling up right now. She's either going to tell me, we're on the after hours, she's either going to tell me to fuck off and leave her alone, or...
Uh-oh. No, don't lose connection now.
The suspense.
Yes, this is killing me.
locked the door. That ain't good.
Yeah, we've got a few others in here just waiting to see what happens.
Oh,
this live is gonna have the best retention ever.
so y'all, this is my wife, Misty.
Hi.
Hi.
How pissed off are you at me?
Let him have it. Let him have it.
I just like a beer can.
Yes, you did.
I just left John's house.
I got your kid out to try to go look for you. I already called the jail.
I was at John's house.
I don't care. You didn't tell me. And where's my drink?
In the car, truck. I bought you a Diet Dr. Pepper. That's how you get out of it, guys. Buy her a drink. So you still mad?
Yes, I'm mad at you. I'm ready to go to bed.
I'll take you out to eat McDonald's, man.
Ew.
She ain't that mad. Better go get her Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I better go get her a drink.
Did you lock yourself out of the house? Oh.
Steve's like, how can next week's show top this?
Because Chucky.
Because Chucky. Hashtag because Chucky. Chucky's Adventures.
Yep.
Can't believe I'm filming. They get in trouble.
Nope. He froze.
Uh-oh. Oh, we're going to miss something.
There I am. Hunter,
There you are.
There I am.
Yeah.
We lock the door for you.
Did you lock it back?
It was locked when I got home.
Did you lock it back?
I didn't lock it. I didn't unlock it. You rolled the window down like Miami Vice.
Yeah, because I could hear you talking about me.
Oh. I wasn't talking about you. See, y'all get me in some deep shit.
We're just along for the ride.
Yeah.
I know, like at Walmart. Oh. Hi, Gomer. You ready to go to bed? He's already awake. Come on, buddy. What's up in your bed or mommy's bed? Oh. Huh? You're too famous right now. Ow. Oh. Well, eventually y'all get to see the car here in just a second. See you tomorrow, buddy. Love you. Y'all are way too silent. This is ridiculous.
Oh, we're just watching, waiting.
Love you, sweetheart. She said, love you too, dickhead. I think she's done got used to my shenanigans. She did that one time. Forgot what happened to my phone. It just died. And then there was like a bad wreck on my way to work. Obviously, it wasn't me that time. And came all the way to my work, just panicking that it was me. But she was just worried.
Uh-oh.
And now the real problem.
Uh-oh. We're losing you, Chucky. Maybe it's my service. I don't know.
I don't know. Both of you guys are going in and out on mine,
Uh-oh.
but that might be my internet.
I'm trying to highlight a comment, but it's not letting me highlight it.
He needs to film lifestyle stuff, not just wrenching. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking Chucky's Adventures.
Yes.
He's back.
There he is.
Sorry, I thought y'all were gone and lost or whatever.
We're here.
We're here.
Y'all stopped talking for a while. Just watch me get in trouble. She's a good woman though. She worries about me too much.
Yeah, that's good though.
Yeah, that's good.
Now this stupid car, I can't figure out like how I keep getting it screwed up out of. Oh yeah, now we can look at the vacuum that I've been hunting for. See, I don't see a vacuum on the carburetor itself. Should there not be a vacuum on the carburetor itself, or were there some?
There should be. I would think there'd be one right in the middle on the throttle plate.
That's what I thought. Well, yes, there is one there. You talking about this, Travis? Can you see that? Let me go back.
No. Yeah, go back.
Let me get a flashlight before I go back.
Okay.
I got tools everywhere. And so what I was thinking is right where this goes. Can you see that?
Okay. No, I'm not. Okay, so that's the.
Let me go back to this other side. The other side's got a flat tire. I'm running over it easier, okay? All right, so this is where the vacuum here goes into here. And it goes up to the firewall to there. Well, this plate's got this. Can y'all see that part of my fingers pointing?
Yeah.
All right, that's the fitting that I was looking for inside here. To put this line, etc.
So, there's no large vacuum ports on that carburetor then, or is there one on the front side of it? 'Cause there's not one on the back.
There's not one on the front side. The front side's just the fuel.
So it might have just had the manifold or the brake booster and the PCV hooked up straight to the manifold. Because if that, I don't know. I don't know Fords that well.
I don't either. So
obviously, I don't either.
So if you're not running any of the emission stuff, right?
No, it's all gone.
So all you need is a manifold vacuum for the brakes going to the brake booster.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to need a manifold vacuum going to the PCV valve and the valve cover. Do you have a PCV valve in one of the valve covers?
That is this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I need to put this. Well, I need to put something there, but it wasn't hooked up when I got the car anyway. So I need to hook that up as well.
If you for the weekend, if you have to make a choice, I would go with the brakes.
yeah.
But eventually, you definitely need to get the PCV hooked up because it helps keep the inside of the engine cleaner so it doesn't get so much carbon buildup.
Okay, I'll do that. Because I was wondering, because it's got this big, huge plug here. Can you see that?
Is that in the manifold?
That's correct. And it's just plugged off. And I'm like, why is that there?
Is it like a screwed-in plug or like a cap?
A cap.
You can use if the hose will fit on there. You could use that. What you have to be careful of is on the newer cars. A lot of times they used temperature switches and stuff to control the vacuum when it turned on and off. If it has if you start the car and you take that cap off and it's got vacuum all the time, if the hose will fit on there, you could run that to the brakes or the PCV too.
Okay. I may try that just to see if it helps.
And if you've got that vacuum port uncovered on the back of the spacer right now and you've been trying to run it that way, that might be why you're having so much trouble getting it to run, because it's probably running super lean because that's just a huge vacuum leak.
Well, no, so I originally had I had this intake and that carburetor on it
With no spacer?
with no spacer.
Okay.
And I had the vacuum and all that hooked up in that. But to me, it was like your fuel idle air mixture screws would not work. Like I would screw them all the way in, one at a time. The vacuum gauge would stay on like 16 psi. It would never change. If you back it all the way out, push it all the way in, nothing would change.
Did the idle change at all when you did that?
No.
Is that a brand new carburetor?
Yes. No, well, it's not brand new. It's rebuilt. It's an Edelbrock 600. I didn't rebuild it, so I took it. Another thing that chaps my freaking ass. So I took it to a guy who says 35 years experience. So I said, hey, can I call you? Blah, blah, blah. I tell him that, look, I'm not experienced with carburetors. I'm not good with them. I just know the basics. And I got a carburetor that I want built. And he's like, okay, well, I already have an Edelbrock 600 sitting right here. I'll send you a video of it running, etc. He had an engine stand, the whole shebang. He sends me a video of it running. It's just a video of the motor idling. It's like, okay, sounds great. Well, I drive 90 miles one way to meet this guy.
Yeah.
In Jacksonville, Alabama. So I meet him, all that. I get the carburetor. When I get it home, well, I thought it was just timing. Like, I'm having timing issues. So I get it where it's running good at idle. As soon as you touch the gas, the sucker will just be blowing flames. It's just like it's dumping way too much fuel. Does that sound about right to y'all? Like it's just dumping too much fuel into the carburetor. And as soon as you touch the gas, it's like it's burning it off.
It shouldn't have flames from too much fuel. Usually that just bogs the engine.
Flames be your timing's off somewhere.
So are you sure you have all the plug wire, the firing order and everything right?
Well, I mean,
So
it don't sound like a miss, because like if you get it up to 2,000 RPMs, it's clean as a pin. It kind of puts you in mind of I know I had a 4.3 do this one time where I took the temperature sensor out by accident, and it idles really good until it gets supposed to be warm, and then it wouldn't run good unless you floored it because it's dumping too much fuel in it because it's thinking it's trying to warm up. You know, and that's kind of how this thing runs with that intake and carburetor on it. Or I think this carburetor. I tried my buddy. He has a 4-barrel carburetor. I tried his, and it was fine. But he's got a lot of money in that carburetor. It's for his dirt track car, so I understand him not wanting me to keep it to go mud riding.
So when you were messing with the carburetor, was the choke opening?
Yes. No, hold up. It was like the back two flaps on the carburetor would be slightly open, and the front two jets were obviously whenever you touch the gas, they would obviously jet. And so like it was just like you if you let it idle, it was fine. But if it would sit here and idle and just like run great, it ain't pouring fuel out the rear, like it ain't just smoking up nothing. Like everything was just fine. You touch the gas and it's just like blowing flames out. But it wouldn't backfire. That's what was. It'd backfire through the carburetor, but it wouldn't backfire out the exhaust. But like when you got past that initial pop of the carburetor, it was good to go. But within like 20 minutes, I went through 4 gallons of fuel. Like it's just burning.
Huh.
And originally this car was fuel injected, which was 45 pounds of pressure in a fuel pump. Well, I already replaced it with the 6 pounds of pressure fuel pump for like a carbureted, same year model. So I don't think it's getting too much fuel pressure because it should be getting anywhere from 6 to 8 is what that fuel pump that I put in the rear. Now it doesn't have a manual, but to me it's getting plenty of fuel.
If it's the fuel pump blowing fuel past the needle and seat, you should be able to see it leaking out of the vent tubes or out of the boosters or something and flooding the car out. You should be able to actually see the fuel dripping into the carburetor when it's running.
Yeah, it wouldn't idle if it was flooding over like that.
Okay, yeah. Well that wasn't it then.
So on the carburetor, so you've got the back 2 barrels that have the air door, and then I gotta take this call.
Okay.
Normally, if you have flames coming back up to the carburetor, your timing needs to be advanced.
Needs to be advanced. Okay.
Yeah. First, make sure your firing order is correct first, and then advance your distributor. And see where your timing's at.
Well, how does it work? Because this is supposed to be a Chevrolet 1-wire distributor, which I'm sure you know plenty about.
Yeah.
So when you put it on put on a Ford, I mean, I should still. So what I did, and you please tell me if I'm wrong. So I just went by what Ford's firing order is on the distributor.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Sorry, she's in San Antonio. On the bus going to the base.
Nice.
All right.
That's awesome. So I was hoping I did that right. Is that I had just like my dad was like, "Hey, you're overthinking it. It's a distributor. Don't matter if it's Chevrolet, Ford, Dodge, Ferrari. It's a distributor. Put your timing order on your motor in line." I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. And so I did that, and then it did crank and fire, but it was still popping through the carburetor.
So Country Mile Garage brought up a good point. I don't know if you guys saw that. If it's when you touch the throttle, if it has no accelerator pump, if it's going super lean, that might cause a backfire through the intake. Maybe.
I've never had one because there's not enough fuel. I've never had one backfire through the carburetor because they're too lean. It's usually ignition timing for the backfire. A lean condition, they'll surge. It'll just not have anything until it gets enough fuel to pick back up.
I would double, triple check the firing order.
I'm tired of this firing order. God.
I'm trying to think.
My dad was finally like, "Hey, Hoss, you're on your own. I don't know what else to do." It's like, "Dad, you can't leave. Like, what the crap?" I mean, I thought I've been close a bunch of times. I mean, it's so much to the point where I took all that crap off and put this other one back on, so I'm just, at this point, I'm actually lost. Like, I don't know what to do. Because you're just like, what like I've tried, like especially like when I charge and stuff, which is a totally different thing. Like I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't charge. I think it's charging. I don't know. I can't get it running long enough to make sure it's charging. But I think, well, like one thing I've noticed is every video I've seen on YouTube is that your vacuum advance is always facing all the way here. And when mine,
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter. It's how you set the distributor in there when you put it in.
Yeah.
okay. Well, I didn't know if that was the case, but mine was running there because I marked it on the bottom where it was running right, where it would idle without going dead there. So that's where I've been leaving it. But I guess I have to just tinker with it some more.
Yeah, double check the firing order. And also that distributor turns counterclockwise. It's not clockwise like a GM.
Oh, so advancing it is counter. What you're saying?
No, advancing will be retarding that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Clockwise will advance it. Counterclockwise will retard it. But you need to make sure your firing order is, and I don't remember the firing order off the top of my head for the Ford, but it should go in a counterclockwise.
Oh, yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it runs counterclockwise. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to find a good picture for you.
This is what people don't realize, and I'm one of these people. Like when they see somebody like y'all or one of these other YouTube channels who just like start tinkering with a distributor, it's like, oh man, that looks easy. Yeah, I'll do that. And then here I am 2 days later, lost. Like, never want to touch another one.
Yeah.
The hard part about Fords is they have so many different firing orders.
Well, mine is a 1 5 4 2 6 3 7 8.
1 5 4 2 6 3 7 8. Okay, and then number 1 is
passenger side
front.
That's right.
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So just find the timing mark on the balancer. And then
10 degrees.
Put it at 10 degrees. And then when you look inside the distributor, it's going to have the little reluctor wheel that fires the magnetic pickup. Line that reluctor wheel up with the magnetic pickup, and that's where it should be firing and figure out where number 1 is at. So where the rotor's pointing and where that reluctor is lined up with the pickup, and then set your number 1 plug wire right there. That should get you close enough to get it started, and then just go counterclockwise around the cap with your firing order the way you did it. And if that's right,
yeah, unless it's 180 out.
Yeah. That's where I think I was at the first time. Was 100. I think I got it on the exhaust stroke the first time. I screwed myself. Learned that mistake. And so, but what you're saying, Travis, so I should find. So if here is 1, then here should be 5.
yes.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter where all the pictures show 1 in the same spot, but 1 can be anywhere you want to put it as long as you base the rest of the firing order off of where 1's at.
So I can think, like you're saying, I can put this distributor facing toward the front, the vacuum in front of the car. It don't matter.
Yeah.
No.
As long as that pointer is pointing in the right direction.
Yes.
Okay. That makes it simple because I kept looking for something to make it I go the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Something that just explains it my way, I think. And the way you just said it makes complete sense. So I can just go one.
Because you've had the distributor out. So at this point, where it was set from the factory where it's pointing at the number one cylinder, that's gone. Unless you put the distributor in with it pointing at the number one cylinder. So if you didn't have the motor on top dead center on the compression stroke on number one, when you put the distributor in and face the rotor towards the number one spark plug hole like everybody does, then the distributor got set where number one's at whenever you dropped it in there. So if you didn't have it all set up so you dropped it in there so that the number one was the number one, you may have picked a different number one. So now you just need to figure out where that number one is at and start your firing order there. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
I've got a video and on exactly that, but it's on a small block Chevy, which it's all the same. It's just number one cylinder in a different spot. But pull the valve cover off, watch your valves, make sure it's on top dead center of number one compression stroke or your firing stroke, and then set your distributor that way. And you don't even have to pull the distributor. Just see where number one is at, and then go from there. I actually had to go save my youngest son, Shelman. He pulled the distributor out of his truck, the 4.3 liter, to had changed the oil sending unit, and it broke off in the block. So he had to pull the distributor. Well, when he put it back in, he didn't get it exact right. So he called Dad, and Dad went over there, and we pulled the valve cover off, double checked everything, and had to reset it back the way it was. So that's the only way it makes sense to me is to pull the valve cover off, double check, make sure.
And in case you don't know how to find when you're on top dead center on the compression stroke, looking at the valves, you got to figure out which valve is the intake valve.
Yes.
And then turn the motor over in the direction of rotation, let the intake valve open, and then close. And the next time that piston comes to the top, that's the compression stroke.
Yeah, you can watch your timing mark. And as long as it's not moved, then yeah.
So as you're turning the motor over, you're going to see the timing mark coming around. The intake valve is going to close, and then when the timing mark comes around, that's top dead center for the number one cylinder on the compression stroke.
Okay, so I want to say the valve collapse. Then when it comes back around, it's going to
open. You can do like Country Mile Garage is saying, put your finger over the spark plug hole and turn it over, and when it blows your finger off, that's also the top dead center on the compression stroke.
Yeah.
I've done. That's what I did this past time. I put my finger over the spark plug hole. But I was hoping I was close enough, and that's what I was nervous if am I close enough? I know it should get me where I can run it.
So now, being as I just saw you move that distributor around, you're kind of lost in the woods right now to try to get it started again because you have no idea where the timing's at. So if you go back to set the top dead center, set the timing mark at the 10 degrees before top dead center mark, and then reline everything up and then snug the distributor down so it doesn't turn anymore, that should get you around 10 degrees of initial timing, which it should start and run there.
Okay.
Well, and then
I was supposed to leave it kind of loose so I can adjust it sometime.
Well, you do, but if you don't know exactly where it's supposed to be, when you move it around like that, you don't know that you're going back to, because it doesn't take much to make a change.
Right. Okay.
And then if you can get it started and running, the best thing to do would be put a timing light on it. And since you still have, looks like vacuum advance and probably the mechanical advance, figure out probably around 10 would be a good place to start with as far as just to get it in where it's pretty happy.
Okay. I'll try that. I'll do that.
Yeah, Country Mile says if you put your finger over the spark plug hole and turn it over till it pops off, and then watch the timing mark and set it 10 degrees before top dead center, then lock your distributor. Don't lock it down, but it should be pretty. You shouldn't just turn real easy. You should have to put a little force in it to get it to turn. Don't break it off. Okay. There's a balance there. Okay. But set it at around 10 and then make sure your firmware is right, and then fire it up and see if it starts.
Okay, I'll do that. That makes a lot more sense from what I've tried to. Which I'm better at listening to somebody talk about it before I, some guy promoting something. And I'm like, oh man, I need to figure out how this fire door works. That's all it works about. Okay, I'll try that. And hopefully that'll get it.
Hopefully that'll get you close enough to at least get it starting, and then you can decide if you have a carburetor problem as well.
Yeah, that's.
And then before you do that, make sure you have all those vacuum leaks plugged, because you're gonna fight with that too.
Yeah, for sure. I got plenty of those.
After you get it running and you get it running halfway decent, if you want to check for more vacuum leaks, like intake gaskets and stuff, you can take brake cleaner or carb cleaner and spray along where the intake goes to the head. And if it changes tone by spraying carb cleaner on there, you have another vacuum leak you're fighting with.
Okay, I'll do that.
And then
I should
beyond
have been recording
that,
this.
What's that?
So I should have been recording y'all talk. I could have rewatched it.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what would make the idle mixture screws not do anything.
Like it wouldn't do it, and I thought I was doing something wrong. So
That's more Chad's department. He's more the carburetor guy.
Well, it could be if he had a vacuum line off.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be any change. Just got too much.
I had both of the vacuum advances plugged, and I had the one vacuum line in the back or the front, and I didn't say no other vacuum.
Yeah.
Because I saw that was one of the symptoms of something on one of the forums that I read. So I went and just made sure every vacuum was plugged off, and etc. And I don't know. It was odd because
if you get it running again, even though you have all the vacuum lines plugged, it could still be a vacuum leak at the carburetor gasket or the spacer gasket or on the intake gaskets. Vacuum leaks can happen at all those places too. So if you're still fighting with it at that point, and then the other one that I can think of is make sure the choke is all the way off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that can cause the idle mixture screws to do funny things too.
All right.
I can't.
Yeah, because if everything's right, if you screw those idle mixture screws all the way in, it should pretty much kill it.
Yeah, and it wasn't doing nothing.
Yeah.
If you have too much idle speed screw, that can mess with the
Yeah.
So if you've got it idling too high if you had to really screw which if you don't have enough timing, you have to put a bunch of idle screw in it to get it to idle, and you'll expose the transfer slot, and then your idle mixture screws won't do anything. So
we had an idle right at like 900 to 1,000. And then the idle screw, that's where we had the idle screw at. And then the mixer screws still wouldn't do nothing.
But how much did you have to turn the idle screw in to get it to idle at 900?
We had to back it off quite a bit.
Okay.
Because when we got it, we tried it where old buddy had it preset, and it was idling at like $2,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so we backed it off a whole bunch.
That kind of sounds like a vacuum leak.
Yeah.
May have been.
Sorry,
No, I'm probably just dumb.
No, it's not that. You're just
I just don't know.
Inexperienced.
Yeah.
Which I'm spitballing here because I'm not super experienced. I have a basic idea of how it all works.
Yeah. Well, it's just hard to know what I don't want to say a bunch of stuff and point you in a whole bunch of different directions.
Right.
I
would start with timing and then check for vacuum leaks.
Yeah, because timing is mechanical. If your mechanical parts are okay and it's still not running right, then you've got a vacuum leak or carburation issue.
Okay, well, I'll do that. I'll just do the simple stuff first. Well, simple, kind of. Timing and vacuum. And
start with those.
Yep.
Well, 10-4, fella. That's what I'm going to do then. I better get to it because I got 2 more days.
Well,
It's going to be a long 2 days.
You can, if you need more advice tomorrow, you can call me if you need to. You have my number.
I'll call you. For sure. If I can't figure this stupid thing out, I may buy you lunch. Tell you, hey, we'll drive to Coleman.
YouTube collaboration. That's what it is.
That's right. Oh, baby. Well, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to get off here and see if I can figure it out.
Good luck.
Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
good luck, Chucky. I hope you figure it out.
I hope it goes well.
Me and you both. See y'all.
Have a good night.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah, I probably better be.
Yeah, you're looking pretty tired tonight too.
Yeah, I'm still trying to recuperate from last week and this weekend. It was a lot of stimulation for this guy, and I'm the older I get, the worse it gets. You know, I have to take 2 or 3 days to recuperate from a big week and weekend.
Yeah. But, all right. Well, I think I'm going to bed too. So.
Yep. Well, hopefully he gets his car running. It's just hard for me to hard to diagnose stuff without actually seeing it. And
it's hard. It's impossible. It's almost impossible to do that kind of stuff over the phone.
Yeah.
And then you had a good point of not trying to give him too much information. I think timing and vacuum leaks is a good place to start.
Yeah. That's why I've always tried to figure out, diagnose anything. It's just with timing, it's a mechanical thing. Once it's set, it's set. And as long as you know that's good, if you can get it running good enough to set your timing, then you can go on to other stuff. And, popping back through the carburetor, if it's throwing flames, usually it's timing. Now, if it's too lean, it'll pop back, but
it won't be
normally
flames,
you normally don't have a fireball. It's just a pop because it's the lean surge.
Yeah. Like a boat will like to do that.
Yeah, but if he's got flames, that means the timing event is off. It's firing at the wrong time and sending it back to the intake track.
Well, hopefully he gets it running and gets to do his gambler.
Yeah. So thanks thanks Country Mile Garage. About the only one in here commenting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Steve's is still in here or J-Bo. We've got 6 or 7 on the counter, but we're gonna have to end this off.
Staying with us and
have a good night. So next week.
Yep.
Perpetual Project channel.
I can get this point down.
There you go.
Thanks, Chad, for hosting the live.
Yep. And next week, go to Perpetual Project at 7 o'clock for the Tailgate Talk, and then we'll have another after hours and maybe more of a Chucky show. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
See you guys.